friends. I'm going to do another video for you today, and I probably will be doing several of these until I get back to where I can use both of my hands and type better. But this is going to be more useful for me to be able to communicate with you a little bit more. There will be still some written posts, but like I said, I had surgery and my right arm is not working. I am extremely right-handed, and so typing, it goes very slowly with one arm. I wanted to go over a few things with you that I normally would put in some posts. Number one is how you document your posts, your daily posts. The things that you write on a daily basis. In the subject line, would you please put what weekly post that is? In other words, you are supposed to have 5 at least per week. So put there what number it is. Now, you'll only get credit for 1 per day. I'm hoping many of you will do more than that, because that's how we get conversations going. However, at least 1 per day. Therefore, I would put like post number 1, then put what it is about, response to Daniel, and then put my name. So you could have 3 things in the subject line, what post number you are. That does not count your assignment posts. Those are counted differently. But if you will number your daily posts, it will really make it much easier for both you and for me to then document which ones I am referring to. The next thing is word count. I have not seen many posts with word counts on them. That is very easy to do, and it is required. Make sure you put the word count in there. Now, if you just quote from either the book or from somebody else's post, those words do not count. Naturally, 1 or 2 in there is fine. But if you're doing like a whole paragraph that you want to respond to, those would not count as part of your post. The same thing if you're just quoting a long passage from the Bible and want to count that as your 150 words. No, those words need to be your words. So make sure when you are putting in the word count, you have marked only the things that are yours. Again, don't go back and word by word, but make sure that you've got enough in there. The next ones is that those daily posts need to be substantive. There is a rubric. Go through that, because even though those are very, very easy, basically you're just given points for those daily posts that you either respond to somebody or are doing some kind of discussion. However, it does have to relate to what we're learning. It can be a response to someone else. However, again, that is not just you responding to their opinion or you giving your opinion. Your opinion is good on these. It is very accepted, but it needs to be as related to the reading or the discussion very, very precisely. There are not a whole lot of things in that rubric that are required, but that one is. It needs to be substantive. Okay, the next thing is personal. Give your own viewpoints, but it can't just be my viewpoint. It's got to relate somehow, and it has to be very clear in doing that. And then when you're responding to someone else, include a brief summary or their words, because when you just come in and say, yeah, I agree, blah, 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 I don't have any idea. The other students, we do not know what you're responding to. These are not simply in order, and therefore often it's not clear the post that you're responding to. So put just a little bit at the beginning. Carol said this. Now, I agree because of this or this. Well, in my experience, that's fine. But very briefly put what you're responding to so that we don't have to go back and find what it is that Carol said. We know right there in your post. All right, I mentioned the rubric for that one. There are also rubrics for all your other assignments. Please use them. Your grades are subjective in this course. I don't like that. I wish it were a math course where you've got a right and a wrong answer. On these, you don't. A lot of it is subjective. Does it have a wow factor in it? Is it really telling me? Number one, you've got to tell me in your summaries or whatever else that you really are participating in reading the assignments and reading the other people's. And then you've got to tell me how you're learning something. What is it that you found out that was different? So the rubrics will help. Grammar absolutely counts. This is not an English class. You were supposed to have already learned those grammar rules. Now is the time to put them in practice. You don't learn math and then throw it out the window when you go to the store. You learn it in order to use. You all are required to have an MLA style book or online, and I find the one online extremely easy to use. Please check your spelling, check the grammar. If you are in doubt, just go to that webpage. There's a webpage that's called Purdue Owl, and it is really easy to look, but look up those things if you're unsure. Some of you asked about the interviews and observations and said, well, it says weekly interview, but I don't see a weekly interview. How many are there? Well, you're doing this week by week. If it says this week you have an interview, you do. If it says this week you have something else, that's what you have. However, in total, there are some weeks that will have interviews. Some weeks will have observation. That's where there is a slash between those two words. Your syllabus has that slash. Your daily or your weekly assignments page has a slash between interviews and observations. They are very much along the same line, so that's why they're put in like that. But each week tells you specifically what you are to do. You also asked me about it being due Monday. Yes, I clarified that in the video that I sent out, that these do not have to be done by Sunday. It would be good if they were, but in order to give you just a little extra there weekend time to get them done, I will accept them on Monday as not being late. It does not matter the format that you have to have. Does it have to be an outline style? Does it have to be just direct quotes? It would be good to have direct quotes in them, but whatever style you can do it in, just paragraphs explaining, question and answer, that is good. But you will also need something that is more just a paragraph of explaining how you saw the interview go and what you thought about it. All right, the quizzes are open book. I think I already addressed that. Those do not have to be complete sentences. They do not, I don't really worry too much about grammar. I may note it, but basically just look up the answer. The one thing that I find students having problems with sometimes is that it will be a two-part question and you only answer one part. Just make sure you're really responding to all the questions, to the whole thing. Then lastly, be sure to document. If you're quoting somebody, tell who he is, tell where you got the quote, tell where you got this idea. This is just good college level work that you document and tell where you've got it. I also apologize. My throat is rather scratchy today. I had a tube down my throat to help me breathe, and I noticed that I'm having difficulty talking. So I apologize for that, and hopefully someday this is going to clear up. Okay, that I think is it for today. Happy learning, and I hope that you are enjoying things. Bye.